Hello everyone, and a very warm welcome to another interesting session from the Stack of Economicspedia. So today I'm here from the School of Thoughts. Now when we talk about the School of Thoughts, right, it is a segment. It talks about a lot of concepts, a lot of fundamental concepts rather, which actually form the base of economics, isn't it? So how the concept of economics that we are studying today in 21st century got evolved from the if I could recall 15th or 16th century maybe, right? So those are the base. Based on that, many modification came along, many suggestions came along because of the caveats that were present in each and every theories or school of thoughts. So today in this session, we are going to talk about one such thought. As you can see written on the board, it is related to mercantilism or mercantilist school of thought. Okay, so I'm going to talk about mercantilism, the characteristics, the special features, what makes it special, and of course at the end I will also be discussing how the mercantilism fall, the decline of it. Okay, so stay till the end to get to know a brief about mercantilism. But yes, it is of course in Economicspedia style, that is, it is in a very crisp concept, very crisp way we provide you the concept with. All right, so to start with, now mercantilism, it was present in 16th or 17th century, okay, and in the European areas. So it was present and it was in the Europe. So I'm just going to give you the keywords so that you can actually remember and not just like you have to, thoroughly go through, because just understand the concept, why it is important and how the things happen. All right. So it was in the European area. Now the question is, is it only famous by the name mercantilism? The answer is absolutely no, right? So there are many names through which this school of thought got famous. To name a few, it became a restrictive system. Now why it is restrictive system? The term, it suggests something, right? Restrictive system. So it got this name because of its practical policies, the policies that were implemented by it. And of course it consisted of numerous numbers of regulations and restrictions. That is why the name restriction is there. Okay, so these are the brief areas. Now if we talk about mercantilist thinkers, those who used to think according to this line, they consider few features of it. They think they did not form a group, rather they advocated a fixed line of thoughts. That means they are not the ones who are going to adapt or change their theories, rather they are going to focus on a fixed line of thoughts, and based on it they were forming the policies. So here they have a fixed thought system. Why fixed? Because on the basis of this they were forming policies. Policies in the mercantilism area, in the mercantilist market. Okay, so now the next question I must be asking, who are mercantilists? Well, mercantilists are businessmen, they are merchants, they are traders. Okay, because they are the ones who are trading. I'll be talking about it in a bit. All right, so these are the ones who are mercantilists. Now as I said that it prevailed in Europe, but it just did not stick to this area. It expanded to many other continents as well, many other countries as well. Expands its wings to England, France, Germany, as well as Spain. Okay, and it was not just restricted to Europe. Now let's talk about some of the special features of mercantilism. I'll be again discussing it in a very lucid format. Before moving to the characteristics or the ideas of mercantilism, I thought, why not we talk about the factors who are actually creating the mercantilist thought. Now when we talk about the factors, of course there are multiple reasons, right? What are the ones that are causing mercantilism? So to talk about, we have economic reasons, we have political reasons, we have socio-economic reasons, as well as we have cultural reasons, or socio-economic, to be very precise. I'm talking about the religious ones. So these are the reasons because of which, the factors because of which mercantilism as a thought emerged. Okay, so I'm going to talk, due to this constraint of the time, I'm going to talk about the economic factor first. Alright, so if you want, you can just pause the video, take some notes, and just go ahead with it. Okay, alright, so when we talk about economic reasons, it's very simple to understand, right? Being an economic student, you have to think that towards the end of this 15th century, because I just mentioned at the starting that this mercantilism is a thought from the early 16th and 17th century. So when the 15th century was ending, there were some changes taking place in the economic scenario as a whole. Alright, and because of that, the domestic economy of the country, they were drastically changing. This change is basically taking place with respect to the different sectors of the economy. For example, a change was taking place from agriculture towards the commercial trade, or maybe the service sector. Okay, so from agriculture it is changing. Alright, now when I talk about trade, it became a very important factor. Not just that, it actually changed the entire foundation of socio-economic structure. Because of this trade, under economics we are talking about trade, and because of this trade, the entire socio-economic structure changed. That's right. And why I am talking about trade, it is because there is a shift from agriculture to industry. Since this shift is happening, so therefore the trade is coming up, and it became a very important factor in mercantilism, and as a result, the socio-economic structure changed up. Now, trade is necessitated, right? Because of the use of money. They even during the 16th and 17th century, money was definitely needed, and in mercantilism, the money was available in the gold format, right? Under this, we are talking about the Gold Standard Act, where the bullionism and precious metals we focus, right? So this is the way they were making the trade, and that is why it actually, along with the expansion of commerce, there were also expansion in the transport sector, in the agriculture, as well as population as a whole, right? So this is very interesting to notice that because of one change, so many sectors, so many factors of the economy are actually interrelated. This is the reason, right? And so therefore, the mercantilist thought is the output of the development. This is what? This is development, right? From agriculture industry, this is development. Therefore, since they are the ones who are talking about this transition, therefore it becomes a very important outcome of development in the economy. Okay, so this is about the economic factor that I mentioned. There are of course many others. If you want to get hold of all this, the details are appearing on your screen. Just go and contact us. Now, in the next part, we are going to talk about the special features, the characters, or the ideas of mercantilism. In that also, we are going to focus on very important few of the ones, but I am definitely going to tell you what are the rest. So follow up for the next part. Alright, so in this segment, we are going to talk about the characteristics, or in other words, you can talk about the ideas of mercantilism. Now, the main characteristics or the building blocks, right? So there are many building blocks. Now the first thing in the factors, why I mentioned factors previously, because in factors the last point that we discussed in under the economic point was that there was importance of money was growing because of trade, isn't it? So that brings us and connect us with the first characteristics of the mercantilist thought, that is wealth. So number one is wealth of the economy. It's very important. Even in the mercantilism theory also they understood what is the importance of wealth. Alright, so it is their fundamental aim. They had a fundamental aim to increase the wealth of any country. I think this is a very common thought that we all have even till today, right? So the strength, they considered the strength of the country was dependent on the foundation of the wealth of the country. Alright, and for them, the portion of the wealth which is consisted of precious metals, that is the gold and other emeralds. So this is the factor where wealth, they are connecting the precious metals. Now, so precious metals, there is gold and other emeralds. Now, they firmly believed one thing, that is that gold was the basis of wealth, okay, and power. So from gold they are saying it is the basis of course, definitely it is wealth. They are considering it as a wealth. But apart from that, they are considering the gold as the power of the entire country. The more the gold, the more powerful the country is. Alright. Now, they kind of made a slogan, you know. It goes like, more gold, more wealth, and hence more power. Yeah, so that's, I think, easy to remember. So how they are relating the wealth with the precious metals, and as a result, the power of the economy. Now, there are other factors, other characteristics. So one is wealth. The number two talks about foreign trade. As I mentioned in the factors, they were doing and talking about trade because there is a transition from agriculture to industry. So there is trade taking place. This is the second characteristic of mercantilism. Moving to the third one, it is related to commerce and industry. Again, a very important one. Commerce and industry. So what is this? They considered this segment, commerce and industries, as a very crucial one because it is related with the national economy, right? The more the trade, the more the industry is growing, the development is taking place, and hence it is affecting the national economy. Therefore, they understood this back in the 16th and 17th century, and therefore they wanted to increase the national product. Not just that, rather national productivity effectively by the means of regulations of industry and commerce. Okay, and not only this, they also believe that manufacturing industries were more closely related with the commerce. So with commerce, they are trying to relate the manufacturing industries. Can you believe it? Because from manufacture, the commerce is happening and they would receive all the attention from the government. So they had this mercantilism, they had an idea or a thought of government. Government was there. Okay, this is a very important character of mercantilism. And however, since we are talking about manufacturing sector and commerce as well as industries, one thing you need to remember, that they did not ever guided or said that agriculture was not important. They mention agriculture is important. The importance of agriculture is definitely there in the economy. Now, apart from that, since there is a transition taking place, how to actually we can say that the country is developing. Therefore, they are talking about the other sectors. Alright, so this should not be misunderstood. And they actually thought that agriculture did contribute to the national economy or the country as a whole as well. Alright, so these are the important parts that I have discussed, but again due to shortage of time, I am just going to talk about the rest of the important characteristics of mercantilism. It is about the population, right? So after this one, we have the fourth one as population. Next, we have talk about the natural resources. Natural resources of the economy. It is again very important. Next, they talk about another factor, that is wages and rents. You all know how this important is, right? Wages and rents in any economy. Next goes up to interest. Next goes up to taxation. So they all have included all these parts as their characteristics, and they have talked about it rather, and it is very interesting and very important to understand how these factors are actually characterizing or are the main ideas of mercantilist school of thoughts. Now the list does not stop here, it goes to theory of value. Do you remember the theory of value of Ricardo? Do you remember the theory of value of Adam Smith? Do you remember the theory of value of Keynes, neoclassicals, neo-Keynes? So the value in this school of thought, they always matter because it differs from each and every school of thoughts. So stay tuned to Economicspedia, because in the sooner classes, we are going to take up some of the school of thoughts to discuss it with you guys, because we understand that this is a part of the economics where many students struggle, especially if they are studying alone, right? So there is a high chance where you miss out on the detailing, right? So this is the one, the value is there. Next we have to talk about the factors of production. What are the factors of production? Land, labor, capital, or is it rent or what not, right? So rent theory is again very important, value and rent for every school of thought. Okay, next we have commercial regulation, land banking scheme, as well as occupation. So all these 13 characteristics are important to cover up the entire ideation as well as the characteristics of mercantilism. Alright, now in the last segment of today's session, I will be talking about the reasons for the fall of mercantilism. What are the causes because of which the mercantilist theory overall declined. Alright, so now we are here at the end part of today's session, that is we are here to talk about the decline. There are three broad reasons for the fall of mercantilism. Number one, now think like that, after mercantilism, what is the thought that come in? It's the Smith, right? So the Smith's theory, the Smith's thought, they were entering into the market towards the 17th century. So Smith's policy and the ideation of the power of surplus over the power of policy of power. Because of this, this is the main reason for the decline of mercantilism. So it goes like, Smith's teaching is there definitely, where he talked about his ideation. Maybe in the upcoming session we will be covering Smith's ideation. However, there is one, you can go to the description box and you can find the session associated with Smith's theory of school of thoughts. So Smith's teaching is there, and of course there is a change of policy. So there is a change of policy of plenty. This was overpowering the policy of power. So this was more overpowering. Because of this, it falls. So this is number one. Number two reason for the fall of mercantilism is coming from the development of banking system, because it reduced the importance of precious metals, right? Bullionism gone away because of the formation of banks. So the next reason is where we talk about development of the banking system. So this is ultimately relating to the fall of Bullionism. Okay, and coming to the third part, I hope this part is visible. Yeah. Coming to the third part, it is the expansion of market economy. The last one is the expansion of market economy. So what happened when the market economy actually expanded? Because of this, it showed something, it represented something. That is, the real estate, factories and the machineries, they were of important items of wealth than the gold and silver. So again, this is indicating towards the fall of Bullionism. Because this idea is again talking about the other assets, or rather I can say other sources of money or wealth in the economy other than this Bullionism or the precious metals. Alright, so this is the reason why I have taken up today's session, where we are mainly focusing on the school of thought. And this is a school of thought that the syllabus is getting started with. And again, few reasons, few areas that I am unable to cover because of the shortage of time. Apologies for that, of course, but you can get in touch with us and get the entire study material related to the school of thoughts, focused on only on this mercantilism at an appropriate fee. Just contact the team. The details are appearing on your screen. My team is there to help you out with each and every requirement of yours. Again, I can't thank enough for your immense support all across the globe that we are getting. And as I mentioned earlier, in this year, Economicspedia is back with a bang on bigger vision to impact more than 5 lakh students across the planet. And we are so happy to reach each and every one of you out there, no matter whether you are from which part of the globe, right? Economics brings us together. Thank you so much for staying with Economicspedia. Thank you so much for such a lovely support and all the belief that you have on us. Thank you so much on the behalf of the entire team. We are always very much thankful for that. So that's it for today's session, and I hope to see you in one of our next sessions very soon. We'll be trying to be more regular and coming more to you with interesting sessions, a lot of concept in a lucid manner. The reason why we are reaching the maximum out of you. Thank you so much for such a lovely support. See you in the next session very soon. Bye bye till then.